Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy Bent with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I said on every episode, we've got a great one for you. Who do we have
We
today?
have John Schneider here with us today. You may remember him as Bo Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard, and we're going to talk about his new film, Poker Run.
And we're excited to have you on. So
Yes.
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome.
It's great to be here. Great to be here.
You
And
know,
by the way, I'm in a car. I'm in a cool car. I'm in a 1999 Porsche 911 SC convertible
Ooh.
oh,
in a
wow.
parking lot. In a parking lot in just outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh,
And you was
very
telling
cool.
us a little story beforehand. Tell us that about the car thing.
Well, the car in Poker Run. See, I was when they were filming Smokey and the Bandit. I was 16 years old, and I skipped school and I snuck on the set, and I wound up in on the
Wow.
movie, which is pretty cool. I had a
Yeah.
lot of, I still have a lot of gumption, and a lot of, I'm just going to do it. Whatever it is, I'm going for it. So I wanted that Trans Am so bad and never got a Trans Am. And then, of course, 2 years later, was driving what at that point was the second most famous car in the world. And now I think the most famous car in the world, which, of course, is the General Lee, the 69 Dodge Charger.
Mhm.
Well, when we did Stand on It, it's a tribute to Smokey and the Bandit. So I wanted to do a bandit-like car, but I'm a Mopar guy. So, so I had a dilemma.
Yeah.
So my friends and I and my father-in-law and I built a triple black T-top Hellcat Challenger with
Oh,
the
wow.
gold pinstripes and a brand newly designed bird. It's actually a Phoenix Rising with a rebel flag in one talon, an American flag in the other, and a olive branch in the mouth, and a little O1 representing the General
Wow.
Lee in
Yes.
the eye, right?
Oh, love that.
So now I feel like it's much better than even having my own Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am. I designed a brand new supercar for movies, and you can see it not only in Stand on It, but it's also the car that I drive in Poker Run. So I'm very, very proud of that. The 16-year-old in me is very excited about that.
And Poker Run seems like the mix of the Dukes of Hazzard meets Smoking the Bandit.
Yes, we saw the trailer. It looked
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep, it's what we call Southern horsepower comedy. And for some
Yes.
reason, in the last 30 years, nobody has made that kind of those kind of films. And when I was a kid, they were
everywhere.
king.
Yes.
Smokey and the
Mhm.
Bandit, White Line Fever, Convoy,
Uh-huh.
Gator.
Yes.
We actually
Oh.
do a little bit of a nod to Gator
Ah,
in,
oh, wow.
in Poker Run, because we have a whole part of our. It's when we play poker, we get our first two cards and then we race to another location for the flop.
Okay.
Then we
Mhm.
race to another location for the turn, and then another location for the river. And during that one hand of cards, it's one hand of Hold'em for $2.5 million.
Oh, wow.
We go in on the dirt roads. We go on the gravel roads. We go on a dirt track. We go in boats through the bayou and swamps of Louisiana. So it's a very exciting movie. It's a much bigger movie than Stand on It was.
Oh, wow.
And it's actually been selling like 3-1 to what Stand on It did a year ago. So we're
Wow.
extremely excited. We've not only hit a home run, I think we hit a grand slam with this one.
And you were saying that they don't make movies like this anymore. And I think it would help if they did, because back in the day, you had all kinds of trucker movies that really spotlighted the trucker.
Yes.
And you didn't
Oh, yeah.
have trucker shortages back then. Right now we have
That's
trucker
true.
shortages. I think that if more movies like this would come out, it might actually influence some people again to say, you know what, I want to be a trucker.
Yeah.
I think that could be, yeah. And we travel on the road a lot. There's a lot of trucks out there, but sadly, there's a whole lot of goods that are sitting on the dock or sitting out on
Right.
barges in the water that people won't release. So it's a weird time we're living in right now. But
It is.
we did a great album. I think it's a great album. The best music I've ever done was in our last album called Truck On.
Oh well.
Oh,
And
wow.
Truck On celebrates. It's a bunch of music from Stand On It, but it celebrates our truck drivers out there.
Oh,
And make sure that they know we appreciate, we're aware of what they do, and we appreciate what they do. And we know that there'd be nothing on any shelves anywhere if it weren't for our truckers.
So true. They keep everything running.
Yeah, without
for the rest
them,
of us, huh?
we would, again, there'd be no Christmas, there'd be no holidays,
Right.
Without there's a great song. Without truckers, there'd be no Christmas.
I love that. That should be a song.
Santa has a CDL.
Yeah, there you go.
Santa has a CDL. I like that.
That would be awesome. Huh?
So let's go back a little bit. How did the Dukes of Hazzard start? I mean, we read.
Hell, I don't know. I was cast in it.
Tell us
Actually,
about
I
that.
do know.
Yes,
I do
and
know.
how you got the part.
I do. Dukes of Hazzard. It came from a movie called Moonrunners
Okay.
that was created by, written and directed, I think, directed by Guy Waldron, who created Dukes of Hazzard. They had Uncle Jesse, they had Bo and Luke, they had dynamite arrows. It was a bit more Southern Gothic,
Okay.
kind of like there was a movie that I think people are aware of. There's a movie called Ode to Billy Joe.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
The day that Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie.
Oh yes, I remember that.
That was the song that inspired that movie. And Max Baer, who played Jethro on the Beverly Hillbillies, actually directed that.
Oh wow.
Max
Did
Baer
not know that.
Jr. is Jethro. Max Baer Sr. was one of the greatest boxers of all time. But anyway, there was a period of time in the mid 70s where movies like Ode to Billy Joe, Buster and Billy, there was kind of a Southern Gothic element to a bunch of films. Right around the time Clint Eastwood was making The Beguiled, okay, which is very odd, very dark, sort of a Southern Gothic Civil War piece. Well, Guy Waldron then went on after that to create. Rumor has it, or legend has it, he was somewhere at an airport and he saw someone with a bag that said Hazard High, and they were from Hazard, Kentucky. So he had the notion of, well, why don't I redesign Moonrunners for television and call it the Duke family, the Dukes of Hazzard. The Dukes who lived in Hazard.
Yeah.
Kind of entendre with regard to our being, in trouble all the time. About the auditions, they auditioned people in New York and Dallas and Los Angeles and Atlanta. And I was in Atlanta at the time. And the week I auditioned for Dukes, I also auditioned to replace John Travolta in Welcome Back, Kotter. And for a movie with Robert Duvall called The Great Santini. But I got the Dukes, which is great. And it is true, I did walk in with a 6-pack of beer. I did drink a beer on the couch in the waiting room. And I offered a beer to the gal, the assistant behind the desk, and she refused, of course. So I drank 2. So it was really a holdover from whatever gave me the nerve to talk myself onto the Smokey and the Bandit set, gave me the nerve to show up at this audition with a 6-pack of beer. And I got the part. It took about 5.5, 6 weeks for me to actually get the part. Was not an immediate thing. Went for the first audition, went for the callback, and then got the dream of a lifetime, which was they sent me a first-class round-trip ticket to Los Angeles so I could screen test for this show called The Dukes of Hazzard.
Wow.
Wow.
So when you auditioned for this and you got the part, did you ever imagine that it would be as big as it became?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no sense in having a small dream. You know? So I've always had large dreams. And with regard to Dukes, at that time, Smokey and the Bandit had changed the world. I mean, everybody had a CB, everybody had a Keep On Truckin' shirt, everybody knew who the Bandit was. So there was no doubt in my mind that this thing called the Dukes of Hazzard wouldn't be the greatest show ever on television. Now, of course, I was 18 and I had no barometer, really.
Yeah, you weren't jaded yet.
Yeah.
I'm still not jaded. Thank you very much.
I
That's
love
a good
that.
thing. Yes.
Uh,
that way.
Because
yeah.
people think I dream too big sometimes, but yet
Yes.
here I am talking to you.
Oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart. You know, the problem with having a small dream or a small goal is you might reach it.
Ooh, so true.
You know, I remember the old saying,
Why not go for the big one?
you know, that shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
There you go. There you go.
And I think
But you got to have a big dream. So I have a big dream. That's why, I mean, my dream my whole life has been to do what we're doing now. Finally, at 61 years old, I'm married to a woman I love more than my next breath. We have a very similar goal with regard to creating our own content, our own movies, our own music, and distributing our own movies and our own music. This is exactly what I thought I was going to be doing at 8 years old. It just took a while.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It's all right for it to take a while. It should take a while. Because now, I mean, I have between the two of us, we have a very important skill set. And one of the best, biggest, most important skills that Alicia and I both have is we both know what not to worry about. You know, it's important to know what doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, because we've been married 19 years.
Spend a whole lot of time
now.
worrying about things that don't matter. And you'd be kind of like a wonderful old Billy Joel song, Running on Ice. That's what you'll be doing. You'll gain no traction. You'll get nothing done. You won't get any closer to your dream. In fact, you might actually slip a little further away.
Yeah, because like they say, misery loves company.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And, you know, people love to drag you along with their failure.
And it's crazy because, you know, you have this big dream. And, you know, people always say, I've had so many people say I shouldn't say as much as I say on Facebook. I'm like, well, I don't know who's watching. I don't care about the haters. There might be a connection out there that sees something I say and helps me connect to that person.
Absolutely.
Because that's what social media is supposed to be, connections.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to wake up every morning, and this is important. You've got to expect great things every day.
Each day.
Because I know if you expect bad things every day, guess what? You'll get them. You have to expect great things every day. Prepare for opportunity, expect opportunity, and then be ready to seize it when you recognize it.
Yeah, because the worst thing that you can do is do nothing, and then opportunity comes, and you're not prepared. You know, it's better to be over prepared so that when the opportunity comes, you can run with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like
but you have to be able to recognize it.
Like with our show, you know, we've done, you know, we launched this show January of 2020, and we're already at almost 500 interviews.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, we had to do something, you know, COVID happens, shuts everything down.
Stuck at home.
Everybody's stuck at home, and we're just like, you know what? We can't change it. So let's just run with it and make the best of the show. And because of that, we've done so many interviews now.
We made 2 movies and 3 albums between 2020 and 2021.
Wow.
You can't shut us down. They don't have the right to shut us down, by the way.
Right.
You know, there is no stipulation in the Constitution of the United States where it says the government may on a Wednesday claim you are essential or not. There is no such thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And we must not ever let them get away with that again. And it is up to us.
What's funny, it was deja vu almost. I seen something in the background, and I was like, because remember I told you beforehand, a person got kicked out of a parking lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
female artist we talked to a few months ago. I remember that.
That's crazy. So, as you know, a lot of people, they see the glory in what you do, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles it takes to build that longevity, build that career within entertainment. I always want to talk about that because I think a lot of people think, oh, if I got a talent, I'll make it. And that's only a small piece of making it within entertainment. So talk about some of the sacrifices and struggles you've had to go through to get to where you are today.
I don't remember them. I'm tenacious. But remember, my goal has been to be the master of my own destiny.
Yeah.
To build my own sandbox, to have my own studio, to be able to tell my stories, and now my bride and I's stories the way we want to tell them, with whom we want to tell them, and distribute them the way we want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if during the period of time where I was beholden to other people, I've had many more times I auditioned for something and didn't get it than I got it. And so you have to have thick skin for that. But that's now been a while. And it's not because it was given to me, it's because I took it.
Mm-hmm.
I have believed since I was 8 years old that I was designed to tell stories a very specific way. And those times when I saw eye to eye with the people who hired me, we got along great. But those times when we didn't see eye to eye, I was that pain in the neck actor that said, oh, no, Jonathan Kent wouldn't do it this way. I was a producer's biggest dream because those shows are very successful, but I was also their biggest nightmare because I was one of those guys that felt I knew more about the character than they did.
Wow.
Because you're the one
but
playing
it. Because I played the character,
Yes.
And I'm the one that people come up to and they talk, they
hear the stories.
Talk to me about the impact the characters had. So they don't do that to the writer or creator of the show.
No.
So there were struggles, but struggles are like, you've got to lift heavier and heavier weight at the gym or you're not going to get any stronger.
Exactly.
So you've got to look at struggles and you've got to look at opposition as being a sign that you're onto something, you're on the right track. My wife is going to get in the car here. We may actually have to drive. Is that going to bother you?
Oh, that's not a problem at all.
So
I'll just speak up.
So Leprechaun asked, how many times did you mess up going over the hood?
Oh, the hood
slide.
One of our listeners was asking, how many times did you mess up going over the hood slide?
No, I messed up a time or two. I'm sure I'm sure a time or two I would, I'd slip off the side. The issue with that is going too far. We would
be able to stop.
Forgive me for moving around here. We would put lemon pledge on the car.
Oh, okay.
A little more slippery.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well,
No, of course, in those days, nobody wears tight jeans like that anymore. But in those days, the jeans were slippery. They probably had fabric softener all throughout them and had wax on the front of the car. So it was a chore to stop before you slipped off the other side and hit the pavement.
Wow.
And I did that once or twice, but
after a couple of times you learned.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you don't go quite so fast. But I've seen a little Giphy or GIF or whatever in the world they call that that I'd forgotten. I actually slid over the roof of the car. And I did that out of desperation. We were running away from Roscoe, and I somehow John just felt the best way to get over the car was to go over the roof, and I did. And I'm still the only person to ever do that.
Oh, that is.
But in all fairness to Tom Wopat was the first one that jumped over the car and slid over.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Now, did you have Leadway in the Dukes of Hazzard where?
Pull over. I can't hear a thing. I'm sorry. Hold on one second.
Okay.
We're pulling over.
Sure.
I can't hear you. And in the shade would be wonderful. There we go. Okay. Look at
So-
that.
So did you had leadway in the Dukes of Hazzard where if a scene was one way that you would change it?
Well, we would change it occasionally just because out of expedience sake. There was really never we would change dialogue and things. I mean, they had a tendency to write really hokey redneck dialogue.
Yeah.
And honestly, one of the big differences between Coy and Vance and Bo and Luke is that Tom and John were so comfortable just in our own skin that we would say the dialogue however we wanted. And Coy and Vance would say the dialogue as written.
Okay.
So that's why I mean, they would say things like, gee golly, I don't know, cuz. We would never say that. We would never ever say that. So but of course, you know, they came into a brand new circumstance for them, and they didn't know they had leeway to make it their own.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's important, you know, on shows, especially shows that go on for a long time, is eventually the actor becomes the part so much that the actor kind of needs to have some leeway, because like you said, you knew what the audience was saying. You knew what the impact was saying. So you knew that part better than the writer.
Yeah, we know at some point in a series, especially, not so much in a movie, but in a series, we know when a character has crossed the line, when something is written or something is, you're supposed to do something that character just wouldn't do.
Right.
So we are far more aware of that because, you know, like we just said, people talk to us about Bo or Jonathan Kent or Jim Cryer or whoever it is that we play now, Duke Marietta.
Wow.
So it's you have to be tenacious in order to take those reins into your own hands, because it will make you fairly unpopular.
Yeah.
Until the ratings come out, and then they'll go, "Oh, that was my idea."
You know, that's like many artists talk about, you know, like I remember Luke Combs posted a few years ago thanking all the executives that told him his songs would never be a hit after 6 #1 songs.
Right. Yeah.
And,
well,
and
these are tragically, it's normally, I call them non-creatives. Non-creatives are the ones who are in charge of the coffers. You know, they're the ones that spend the money for the label. It's why I don't want to have anything to do with a label. It's why we don't want to have anything to do with a standard distribution arm of anybody. It's why we don't have anything to do with a studio. These are our mistakes or victories to make, and we're making them. And right now we have a victory in this series of movies, starting with Christmas Cars, then To Stand on It, and now Poker Run. These are movies no one in Hollywood would ever make. Yes, I do have the rebel flag. I have the rebel flag on the front of my car, and I'm not taking it off.
Doing it your own way. We love that. Yeah.
And you got to understand.
I had a song 2 years ago, and I have a book called My Life, My Way.
Oh, wow.
And,
I love that.
Love that.
And it's not, you know, I hope it doesn't come off as arrogance, because it's not. It's just, it's our dream. Alicia's right there. It's our dream. Yeah. And we don't invite other people's perspective enforced anyway. I mean, of course, we do these movies, we ask everybody's opinion, but we take it under consideration, and then we apply it or not.
You know, I love that. I love that because it reminds me of we were up in her parents live in Kentucky. And,
I'm from Eastern
She's from Eastern Kentucky.
So I knew where Hazzard, Kentucky was.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And we were visiting her dad's grave a few years ago. And I was walking around the gravesite, and I seen this 2 plots. It was a married couple. And it said on the plot, "We did it our way." And I told Sandy, "Look, there's a couple like us."
That's great.
We get it. We're the same.
Because we've been a 24/7 couple since the day we married 19 years ago, and everybody has called us crazy for that, but yet here we are.
Well, good. Yeah, we're the same. We're the same. I'm going to answer that question there. Hey, I wound up in Alicia's car she's got to go be somewhere. Yes, I do have a General Lee. In fact, I took some wonderful people for a ride in it yesterday, and we went to lunch, and it was quite wonderful. We have a ride with Bo at John Schneider Studios, so we do that. I had a great time with them, and I have that car, and I have a Crown Vic look-alike General Lee that we use for stunts when we have to run it under a tree or something. We use that car, not the nice one.
Now, as you know, a lot of people, they see you as the front man, the actor, but they don't see the teams behind you. In our opinion, the teams never get the love they deserve. So take a few moments to tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
Well, we've got a whole group of people. This time of year, we call them the elves. And, we've had about maybe 5,000 orders in the last 3 days.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of orders to fulfill.
That's a lot.
So we have a group of people right now that are sitting at John Schneider Studios at a 24-foot dinner table, putting Poker Run DVDs into envelopes to ship out.
Wow.
And they're fantastic. Now on the road, we've got a fantastic band called the Stars and Bars Band. We travel all the time. We've got Cody McCarver, who we travel with as well, and he plays Frosty in Poker Run and Stand on It. We've got Keith Burns that meets up with us most of the time out on the road. He's in Poker Run and Stand on It.
Oh, very cool.
We have our race cars, Topper and Katie, who make sure our race cars are running and make sure they get to where they need to be because we race dirt track.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Flipper, who drives the bus that the band is on. We've got Jason, who drives the tractor trailer that pulls the stage. Got a lot of people. We've got Jeff, who builds everything at the studio. We've got my father-in-law, Mr. Mike, who does a whole lot of stuff. My mother-in-law, Miss Linda, who does a whole lot of stuff in the studio. On and on. We've got about 30 people that are working for us right now as I'm sitting here in the shade.
Wow.
In a car with funky hair. We've got a bunch of people who work for us.
Speaking of teams, we have a third co-host, our 9-year-old that we
Christopher.
Christopher, we allowed to come on and ask a few questions.
Yes.
Sandy's going to get
I'll
him
go
real
get
quick.
it.
And we got
I have an appointment.
Okay, we've got I'd love to do that. We're going to have to drive because Alicia is going to be late for her appointment now.
Late.
She's already late for her appointment.
We can't have that.
No. So I'm going to turn it up as loud as I can. So you're going to see my ear a little bit, folks, and I apologize for that. But that's how it's going to be.
And I can, so tell
Hopefully I cleaned my ears this morning.
Yeah. Now you give back a lot. So tell us about the flooding of Nashville and what you did there.
Waverly.
Waverly. It was Waverly, outside of Nashville, where Loretta Lynn's.
I meant to say Middle Tennessee.
So we were in Tennessee, in Sparta, Tennessee, actually gathering supplies and different things for the folks there in Waverly, when Hurricane Ida came right over our studio in Louisiana. So we had to come back, even though people were collecting all kinds of goods and things for the folks in Waverly. We had to come back and make sure our house and studio didn't disappear.
Wow.
Because Ida was a Cat 4 hurricane that came right over the studio. And when I say studio, it's not a music studio. It's not a building. It's 150 acres of film studio.
Oh, wow.
So we had tremendous destruction, to the point where our store, which is Miss Shirley's, named after my mom, we are in the process right now. Jeff, who I talked about a little while ago, and Mr. Mike are rebuilding the pad where we're going to be putting not a new building, but putting sheds, because we're also in the shed business. Putting sheds up to make a new Miss Shirley's.
Wow.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing great. Hi, John Schneider. So what's your favorite food?
Say
So
that
what's your
again?
favorite food?
What is my favorite food? I like gumbo. We live in Louisiana. I'm from New York, but I'm a convert. I love I love gumbo. What's in gumbo, baby?
A roux, and it depends if you're doing chicken or seafood.
There's a roux, and sometimes there's chicken, sometimes there's seafood. My father-in-law tried to get me. He made squirrel a couple of weeks ago. I had squirrel for the first time.
Oh wow!
And it was pretty good, but it's not like chicken.
What's yours?
Mine is pizza.
Pizza, of course. It's either going to be pizza, French fries, or macaroni and cheese, right?
Yeah.
Like all those.
He loves all
Three
those.
staples.
Yeah.
Three staples.
Next.
All right, what's your favorite TV show?
What's my favorite TV show?
Yeah.
The Dukes of Hazzard. Without question. Without question. I believe Dukes of Hazzard will, long after I'm gone, the Dukes of Hazzard, like the Andy Griffith Show has done for Andy Griffith, I think Dukes of Hazzard would be remembered as one of the greatest television shows of all time. I really do.
I think so
We
too.
agree.
What's yours?
Mine is SpongeBob.
SpongeBob is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob's favorite.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. My favorite episode of SpongeBob is when SpongeBob and Patrick were playing in the box, and you could hear the planes and hear all the great stuff that was going. And then Squidward bought the box, and it didn't work for him because you have to have imagination.
Yeah. I remember that one.
That's a great one. Great one.
Yes.
So
what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. I'm going to be self-serving here. My favorite movie right now, no kidding, is the movie we just put out called Poker Run. It's fun. It's got cars. It's got dirt. It's got a great barroom fist fight. And it's kind of like a Western with cars. And I'm a big Western fan. So I urge you to check out Poker Run.
Yeah.
you will, right?
Yes, I will.
What's yours?
Mine is the Minions movie.
It's a what?
The Minions movie.
Minions.
Oh, the Minions movie, really?
Yes.
Cool. I've not seen the Minions movie, so I can't speak on that.
Huh.
Love that.
So, bye.
But
Hey, it was great talking to you, my friend.
Yes.
All right. He loved.
I'm having such difficulty hearing.
Here,
ask me another question. Sorry there, Chris.
We'll pull the mic up a little closer now.
Yeah, we'll get the mic a little closer. Hopefully that helps them. All right. What are some sources of inspiration for you?
Oh, gosh. I just pay attention. So people at dirt tracks, people in shopping malls, just people in general inspire me. I pay attention. I don't people watch, but I pay attention. So I when people are talking to me, which is why it's so frustrating not to be able to hear all that well, I pay attention. So I am inspired by folks. I'm inspired by my wife and her tenacity that's equal to mine every day. We work from the time we get up in the morning at about 6 o'clock, although she gets up earlier. The last interview I did last night started. So that's what inspires me.
Wow.
Awesome. And what would you like your legacy to be? What would you like to be most known and remembered for?
I'd like to be known as somebody who, how can I put this? I'd like for people to say, John Schneider made me better.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, I'd love for them to say he made me laugh, he made me smile, but I'd really like them to say he made me better.
Oh, that's great. And if you could say anything to your fans out there, what would you want to tell them?
I would say to my fans out there that I am so appreciative for you sticking with me all these years. I appreciate your showing up at concerts and showing up at the movies. I really appreciate also your reviews and comments about the things, the music that we're doing, the movies that we're making. And I've never lost sight of the fact that I work for you, really. It's not the other way around. A lot of actor types seem to think the audience is there for them. They don't realize they're there for the audience.
Yeah.
So I am forever in your debt for hanging in there with me all these years, and not going anywhere. There's a whole lot more years to come. So hang on, and here we go.
Love that. So as we come to a close, what advice would you give that next rising star out there who wants to follow in your footsteps?
Well, the best advice I can give to people is go for it. Go for it with everything you've got, whether it means climbing over a wall to be on the set of a movie, or bringing a 6-pack of beer or Mountain Dew or something into an audition. Just go for it. You've got one life and you've got one career. So don't ever let someone else's limitations limit your dream. Go for it with everything you've got, every minute of every day, and you will, at the very least, you will have a blast chasing your dream. At the very best, you'll reach it.
You know, that's what we're doing here with the show. You know, again, we live, breathe, and eat this show, and it's like we've done 500 interviews almost in 22 or 23 months almost, and we just, again, trying to grow and grow and grow and be, you know, giving it all. So we're just appreciative to have people like you that are willing to come on our show, because it then helps us too.
Yes.
Well, it's a pleasure, folks, and continue to dream big, and bigger. And I'll see you next time. Watch Poker Run. I want you to watch Poker Run.
Oh, we definitely will. We're excited.
I want you to
Can't
watch
wait
it. I
to
know
see it.
that you guys and girls love Dukes of Hazzard, so I want you to watch Poker Run and let me know what you think. But dream big and then dream bigger. All right?
Yes.
Thank
Love
you for your
that.
patience with how we did this.
Oh, no
I'm
problem.
John Schneider, and I will see you. I don't know why they do this in Louisiana, but down the road.
Sounds good to us.
Sounds great.
You have a great day.
Bye, folks.
Thanks
Thanks
so
for your
much.
patience. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
And you're welcome back anytime.
Yes.